Today we will talk about a dramatic and romantic movie. Normal. The film begins with Catherine thinking, in her moments with her son, which we know. He died when he was 16 years old in a car accident. And at that time, Catherine was sad and depressed for him. And it connects with her husband, Dale, until she reminds him of the time of the banquet, and when the time of the banquet arrives, Catherine is sitting with her friend Connie, and she speaks, Connie about her husband Jerry's problems at work, but Catherine is calm and unfocused with her when Jerry arrives and puts meat on her plate for Catherine. She refuses to eat it, and Dale is surprised by her refusal, because she loves meat, and Catherine looks at it and talks with him in a strong tone. She tells him that if he was interested in her and knew that she did not like meat and don't eat it. Connie likes to lighten the atmosphere. She guides them and starts talking about how meat is attractive. She was right and she did not eat much of it. And at night, when they got home, she had been drinking a lot. She got drunk and kept talking about her son. She is crying and Dale tries to calm her down and make her sleep. Until you rest. Then we see a young man named Jordy. He was released from prison after serving his sentence. Carl, his father, arrives to take him. He discovers that his stepmother, Lisa, is waiting for them, and he becomes angry. Very Jordy, and it turns out he doesn't like Lisa, and he gets annoyed with her. The second day, Jordy wakes up, sleeping, and finds Lisa preparing breakfast. She and Carl were waiting for him, and at that time Carl was talking to Jordy. Sternly tells him that he has 1 week, just until he finds a job and works, because he is reckless. He has problems and must rely on himself. Then he walks until he gets to work, and we know that Carl is a physician and psychotherapist. And then Lisa speaks with Jordy and trying to be nice to him. He even loves her, but he thinks she is his stepmother. She will not be like his mother. At this time, Catherine wakes up. She wakes up from her sleep and finds Dale upset with her because she leaves all the responsibility of their son Brady to him alone. He asks her to drive Brady to school because he is not free. Get ready quickly so Brady won't be late for school. Then you go to the place in which the incident happened to Nick, and when she returns to the house and enter his room, she sits on his bed and cries hard. She holds his clothes and smells them. At this time, her son Brady enters her. He asks her to go to his friend, but Catherine refuses due to the lack of family. Alan in home, and then we see Carl in his clinic, sitting with someone named Walter and be talking to him about the psychological state that occurred with him due to the accident and his feeling of guilt, because he was the driver of the car at the time and he was drunk. On the way, an accident occurred, and a child, named after him, died as a result. Nick, who is Catherine's son, since then he has been unable to get over the fact that he was the cause of the death of a young child. On the other hand, it was Jordy is in a pizza restaurant to apply for a job, but then the manager knew he was out from prison because of the riots and asks if he stole before, so Jordy tells him he stole a car. He regretted his work, so the director agreed. He works with him in the restaurant and then meets him by chance. Her schoolmate Melissa is surprised because she did not know that he had left prison. He says that he had left the day before and was looking for work, and Melissa tries to convince. Jordy comes to the party and asks. He tries to visit Nick's mother, Catherine, but he gets nervous and tells her that he is the last one. Maybe Catherine would like to see him. And at night, Catherine is going to the supermarket and sees Jordy by chance, so she tries to ignore him and walk away. On the second morning, Lisa entered on Jordy so you can see if he has laundry. Jordy is upset with her and asks her to stay away from him because he does not feel that she is like his mother. And then, Jordy sees Lisa coming out of the bathroom. He admires her appearance and tries to get close to her and Lisa. She was submissive to him and did not prevent him. And then, they sleep and talk together, and Lisa says that his father has become old and does not feel for her, and now she feels comfortable after Jordy got out of prison. Then Catherine, Dale, and their son Brady are sitting eating. She tries to convince Brady that he is playing football. The basket is like his brother Nick, because he was a professional at it, so Brady gets annoyed with it and Dale tries. He warns her that she is putting psychological pressure on Brady. And then Brady goes to play. Suddenly his father gets hurt and asks him to bring it to him. A tool used to sterilize the wound, and Catherine is shocked when you see Nick's basketball with him. Brady becomes upset about his feelings and yells at her. He tells her that Nick is dead and does not exist. And at this time, Melissa goes to visit Jordy the pizzeria where he works, and she even encourages him. He completes it and is comfortable, and she tells him that it is. She kept waiting for him to come to the party, and afterward, Melissa drives Jordy home. You come in and sit with him. They mention Nick, and we know that Melissa, she had a crush on Jordy and suddenly wanted to be in a relationship with him. Jordy approaches Melissa and kisses her loyally. At this moment, Lisa enters them and she is upset. She feels jealous of Melissa, so Melissa introduces herself. She tells her that she was with Jordy at school. Lisa gets upset and walks away feeling angry because of her jealousy. And then Jordy came out with Melissa, and when she talks to him about Lisa, he asks from her not to talk about her and tell her he loves her and goes out with her so they have a good time, far from any problems. And then he comes home. He changes his clothes. Lisa sees him and blames him because he was out with Melissa and trying on her. She talks to him and attracts him to her, but Jordy, he leaves her and walks. At night, Jordy decides to. He calls Catherine to meet her at 2 in the morning. Jordy meets Catherine and apologizes to her. He disappeared for a period of time, especially since he was Nick's friend and close friend, and he told her he had nothing to do with the accident and the car. The second one swerved and hit them. Jordy cries and says that Nick deserves to live better than me. And then you come back. Catherine comes home and is upset. Everything is in the kitchen and you take it all. She takes something of Nick's from his room and burns them. At this time, Dale, her husband, returns home. He tries to put out the fire, but Catherine collapses and stops him. But he insists on turning it off because he doesn't want tools. His son is burning. Then Catherine sits with Brady. She talks to him and apologizes to him for her treatment of him. The reason she burned his brother's tools was because she did not know how to get over the memory of his death. Then we see Catherine wanting to separate from Dale because he did not feel for her and was not affected by the death of his son Nick. Dale says that death is a natural thing in life and he defends himself and that he did everything in his power to preserve the family. Then we see Walt because he is unable to live with the remorse he feels every day because of the accident in which he worked and died. Nick because of him. But Catherine refuses to speak with him and she hears him, and when Walter insists until she hears him, Catherine gets angry with him and tells him that it is impossible. She forgives him for what happened and attacks and beats him. Then she and Brady get in the car to go. At the same time, Jordy returns home and sees Lisa is hurt in the face. He hits her, and his father Carl attacks him and beats him violently. Tells him that he knew what happened between him and her. His wife is certain that Jordy defrauded Lisa. He forced her to have a relationship with him, and then Jordy. He attacks Carl and hits him, but Carl, he is stronger than him and keeps hitting him violently, and he expels him from the house. Then Lisa takes Carl to the hospital and asks Jordy has to leave the house. Then Jordy goes to Melissa. They walk together and finally we know that they have decided. They live together and start a new life together. And here is the end of the movie. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more of these films.